Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Isupk until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crowd, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail. Shit, I needed help. But Twan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me cry cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie, blow smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted, go ahead, was to smash my opponents. Go ahead, stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then gotta hope you accept my atonement. Go ahead, cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. That's good. Live. Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the Isupk out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. And we teach the truth of the Bible that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Jews, the Israelites of the Bible. And that's what we're here to show you every night. I'm Officer 50 Yanazar here in the Durham School. Tonight is the history and the scripture breakdown class. And tonight we're going to do a little history about our oppressor. And I'm going to go in on the oppressor from the day of his, until the prophecy of him perishing off the earth is what we're patiently waiting for. You understand? Because he is the cause of all of this evil that's on this earth right now, because he tolerated all of this evil and he brought us over here to do evil for him. And he continues to allow evil in his kingdom. And he will not do anything to put an end to it because he profits from evil. So I'm going to get into the very nature of him. In the Bible, he's called Esau or Edom. That's what he's called. And I'm going to go in on him from the day of his inception, man, from the day he came on this earth. But before I go into the scriptures, I'm just going to do a quick synopsis on his history on the earth. And he first came on the scene, on the international scene, as the Greeks. The Greeks are the first Edomite empire on the earth. And with the Greeks, they came and they learned war. And they set up war schools, and they learned war, and they became the greatest at the war. And they went throughout conquering throughout the earth. You understand what I'm saying? And everywhere they've gone, they brought war, death, and destruction everywhere they've appeared on the earth throughout history. I don't care where you go in history, you'll find them there making war on other nations. You understand? When they came into our area, like 300 years before Christ. Under Alexander, they came into what we call the Middle East or Asia, and they conquered that whole region from Egypt on over to India. They conquered that whole area. You understand? And they conquered our land as well. But later on, we kicked them out, but that's a whole nother story for another day. The history, Salakia. Khan, I don't want Khan. It's in the bag over here. The history of Esau is war, man. Okay. Later on, after the Greeks came to Romans, right? You understand? And they stood for like about 600 years, terrorizing the earth, robbing the earth and the other nations of their resources. This is what they do. You understand? They went into China. They went into India. In China, they forced China to buy opium from them, which they manufactured in India. They forced China to open their markets. They slaughtered many Chinese, many. They went into Japan. They forced Japan to open up with their navy and with cannons. They forced Japan to open up their markets to them, to the point where they wanted to colonize the Japanese, but the Japanese wasn't going for it. They went into India. They stole most of the resources out of India, and at one time, India was the leading textile producer on the earth. You understand? And they destroyed that market and took that market over. And from that point, they gave the Indians, as a recompense, they gave the Indians control over certain Caribbean islands where Israelites dwelt. And they oppressed them and oppressed them until this day. You understand? They went into Africa and colonized Africa. You understand? They bargained with Africa to sell us into slavery, which they did. You understand? They went into Australia and took over that land. They went into Tasmania, everywhere in the South Pacific. There's not a Tasmanian, a native Tasmanian alive. The last native Tasmanian was an old woman that died back in the 1920s. She was the last person that was a native of the island of Tasmania. You understand? So wherever the white man or the oppressor has gone, he has destroyed. He has brought destruction. You understand what I'm saying? He's robbed these nations of their resources. He do it all the time. He does it until this day. They didn't stop there. They colonized Africa. They came over here. They took every inch of land from the so-called native Indians. They didn't stop. They made over 400 treaties. They broke every treaty they ever signed, every last one of them. So I'm giving you this quick synopsis of him so that we can get into his nature biblically. So we can understand exactly who he is. Yes, sir. Come on. What's the question? Most High in Christ.
Test, Most High in Christ. Salakia. Sister Isaiah Shah had a question online. Salakia, sir, in John chapter 20 and verse 14. Why didn't Mary know that was Christ when she was speaking to him? I'll go there. So I'm gonna read.
Okay. I think I know the answer, but read it if you could.
This is the book of John, chapter 20 and verse 14. Salakia. The book of John, chapter 20 and verse 14. And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Yahushua standing and knew not that it was Yahushua.
Could you read a couple of verses above, 2 verses above that, please?
Okay, sir. I'll start at verse 11. But Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping, and as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre, and seeth 2 angels in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Yahushua had lain. And they say unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? She saith unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him. Verse 14. And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Yahushua standing and knew not that it was Yahushua.
Okay. All right. So what's going on here? This is during the time when Christ was going through what we call the transfiguration. And the law states in reincarnation, you never come back in the same body. So Christ was looking, he looked different at that particular point. After he had perished, after he was murdered and he came back, he was not in the same body. He was in a different body and he looked different. Even some of the disciples couldn't recognize him. Right. So that's the best answer I could give you at this point, because when you're reincarnated or regenerated, you do not come back ever. Nobody's ever come back in the exact same body.
Right.
So that could be the answer that you need, sis.
Just say, next week we'll get.
Or next week we'll speak to the captain and we'll give you a further answer if that's not sufficient.
Yeah, most incorrect.
All right, the water for that. Any more questions?
No, there's no more questions online. The water, sis. So whatever scripture you need, I got you. But
most incorrect. Okay, so now we're going to get in. Like my topic is the nature of Esau or the Edomites, and I'm going to go into his history according to the Bible, because the Bible gives you all the information you need concerning him, and particularly his nature. You understand what I'm saying? Because we as priests and prophets of the Lord in the Isupk, we can discern these scriptures. We're taught how to discern these scriptures. And then we're taught how to relate them back to you so that you, Israel, will know the truth, because we are the home of the truth. Okay, so we're going to start off with Genesis 25, verse 21. Read 21 through 25. Now, this is the birth of Esau, which I'm sure most of you have heard of this already, but we're going to go in on a whole nother level tonight. We're going to get into the very nature of him for those who don't know. You understand?
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
So this is, Rebekah is Isaac's wife, and she's barren. So he's praying for her to have a child. Finally, the Most High has mercy on her and allows her to have a child. Read on.
Okay. Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her. Now,
here it is. The children are struggling within her. They're fighting within the womb. Read on.
Okay. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Because of this, the midwives and the women that handled pregnancies back then, even they didn't know. They never experienced nothing like this. No woman had ever experienced two children like fighting each other in the womb. So she's asking why. She confirmed with the prophets as to why this is going on. Read on.
Yeah. Salakia.
If you could, sir.
No, you 12. Verse 23. Salakia, in verse 22. And she went to inquire of the Lord. Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations, 2 nationalities,
right.
2 different nations are in thy womb. 2 people. If you could, sir.
God. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 manner of people. What are 2 manner of people? 2 totally different acting people. They're totally different. They have different mannerisms, or they conduct themselves in different ways.
Right.
That's what they're talking about.
Damn right.
Continue, sir.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other.
Well, we don't have to even get into that, really. That's not even what it's about, because the people that are stronger, you're looking at them. You understand?
That's right.
So, read on, sir.
It's like it shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
And the elder shall serve the younger. Read on.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Once again, it reiterates the fact that she has 2 children in her womb, 2 different nations, 2 manner of people in her womb. And so what's happening here, she's about to give birth to these 2 children. You understand? And these two children are two of the most important children that were ever born on the earth because of the present situation. You understand? So this is the birth of Esau and Jacob that we read right here.
God.
Okay, I don't want it. You could.
Verse 25, right?
Verse
Verse 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment.
Now listen to that, man. Now I'm going to say this. I always say this when I talk about Esau because what I learned is that Esau is the only child, the only baby in the entire Bible that they give you a physical description of.
Right.
Not even Christ, not Moses, not Paul. Nobody in the Bible is described at birth except for Esau.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? This is very significant for us to identify who Esau is in the earth. If you could, I don't want to.
God. And they called his name Esau.
His name was Esau, one who is born half dead, because he was so amazing to look at because he was the first child that was born without obvious melanin. You understand? His skin was almost transparent. You could see the blood through his skin, even until this day. And he was born red and hairy, like a beast. Message. So now let's have verse 27, if you could, sir.
Go on, sir. Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
Now, Esau was a cunning hunter. I mean, that's his nature, is to hunt and to kill. That's his very nature. This is two manner of people. You understand? Esau's nature was to be a cunning, being a wise hunter, slick, smart, devious. No matter what, he's the guy that pours deer piss on him to catch a deer out in the woods.
Right.
He'll hang himself up in a, what they call a hide, up in a tree for days on end, just to shoot an animal. I was watching this show with this woman. She went all the way to Africa just to kill a giraffe. I mean, I don't know whether, I know she didn't eat it, but I don't even know whether a giraffe is lawful food or whatever. But just think of that, man. She flew all the way thousands of miles, man, just to shoot that animal, man.
Right.
That's the nature of Esau, a cunning hunter. And she was proud to pose with the dead animal. Like, she didn't kill him for food.
Right.
She killed him for sport because that's what they love to do. If you could continue, 27, sir. This is why we're getting into the nature of, so you can understand his nature.
You got it.
To understand something, you got to understand the nature of it. You got to understand the nature of this beast that's on the earth, that's ruling over the earth right now. You understand? And how the Bible, the word of the Lord, the truth, describes him and informs us of him. You finished with 27? Finish 27.
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents, meaning that he was more civilized, man. That's what that means. Like, he was a city dude. Like, he know how to interact with civilization.
Right.
That's what that means.
Right.
That's his nature. So there's a contrast into the natures of these two human beings.
Right.
You understand? One is a civilized person dwelling in tents. That means dwelling in a community. You understand? And the other one is a wild man in the field who goes out killing, hunting. You understand? Okay. Now, we're going to go to Genesis 25 and 30 to get more understanding of Esau, because that's the topic tonight, is to get a clear understanding of Esau and who he is without any shadow of a doubt as to who he is, that he is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And we're going to prove this with these scriptures tonight beyond any reasonable doubt. And I'm telling you this right now, I love to talk about him. I love talking about him. Okay, because of what he's done on this earth. You understand? We're going to go to Genesis 25 and 30. If you could, Baba Shah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
So here is a situation. I skipped a couple of verses, but here's a situation where Esau went out to hunt and he didn't catch nothing. He wasn't cunning enough that day and he didn't catch anything. So he comes in and Jacob's in there cooking some soup or some stew or something. And he's hungry from the hunt because he didn't catch nothing. And he's asking Jacob for some of his food. Read on.
For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Verse 31.
Go ahead, sir.
Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Now, here is a man who he's a cunning hunter. He's a good hunter. And he catches that meat most of the time and he eats it. But here he is now being offered to sell a precious thing, his birthright. He's the firstborn, remember? He came out first, red and hairy all over. So he's the firstborn. He has the right to heir or to inherit from his father. You understand? That's his birthright. Read on.
Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Now, a reasonable person would have said something other than that. Like, yo, man, I ain't selling you, man. Yo, give me some, you my brother, give me some food. You ain't getting my birthright or something. You can tell him something, man. But you don't sell your birthright for a morsel of meat, right, which he did. You understand what a birthright is? You know, that means the firstborn son gets to inherit everything. And he sold it. That's what he thought of his birthright. And this plays significantly in his future and what happens to him and how he lives on the planet Earth. Because he resents this. And this instills hatred in him for his brother Jacob forever. And we're going to prove that. You understand? Read on.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
See, he sold his birthright, man, just for a meal, man. Can you imagine that? Like, oh, yo, man. Can you imagine selling your inheritance for a meal? You can't even imagine that. That's crazy. That is madness, man. But that's how much he thought of it. You understand? Because he thinks like a beast. Wow. All he wanted was that instant gratification at that moment to eat. He didn't think about the future or what he was selling. You understand? That tells you a lot of his nature as well. He wants what he wants. He wants it now. Right. You understand? That's who he is. And we're going to get into more of who he is. Now, we're going to let's go to Genesis 36:1. Now, Esau is a man at this point. Esau, and he's renamed Edom, which means red. But now we're going to show and prove that he becomes a nation on the earth. You understand? Question.
Just a quick question about Genesis 25 and 33. Why would Jacob say that to Esau, though?
Say what?
Why would let me read it again. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Why would even Jacob allow him to do that, though?
I believe his mother had told him that he was supposed to get the birthright.
Uh-huh.
And he knew Esau's weakness.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And he played him.
Yeah.
That's the best I could think of right there. If Khan, I don't want Khan.
You know, you got to remember, like you brought out early in the class, it ain't like Esau and Jacob was best buds. They literally was scrapping in the womb. You know what I mean? So the opportunity presented itself, and like you said, his mother had she knew that she wanted him to get the birthright. You know what I'm saying? So she told him, dress up like your brother. I mean, we'll get to that later, but you know what I'm saying? So it was for him to get it. That's how the Most High wanted it. That's what happened. You know what I mean? And so he went and did what he had to do. So
because when we read earlier in I think it's verse 22 and 21 and 22, the Most High is telling Rebekah, you know what I'm saying? The elder shall serve the younger, meaning that the younger one is going to get the birthright. So Rebecca, she knew. Isaac didn't know, but Rebecca, she knew. You understand? So this is what she relayed to her son, and we're going to get into that a little bit more later. But we're going to continue. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 36, verse 1. If you could, Baba Kashar.
Now, these are the generations of Esau.
Now, these are the generations of Esau, meaning that these are the families that's coming from Esau. Esau becomes a nation on the earth. Read on.
Who is Edom. Verse 2, Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan.
So now Esau has multiple wives. I didn't forget how many he had, but he had a lot. He had multiple wives and he had sons. You understand? And his sons, the Bible don't call them princes, they call them dukes because they're not on our level. You understand? They're dukes, they're not princes. That's what the Bible calls them. And these are his sons. And these sons, just like the sons of Jacob, become a nation. And every nation in the Bible is named after the father of that nation. The father of this nation is Edom, and therefore they're called the Edomites. And they're called, today, they call themselves white people or Europeans. The best word that I like to call them is Caucasian. That's the best word because they're like a caucus. That's what the word Esau meant. One who's born half dead. Okay, so now we're going to start getting into, like I said before, we understand the history of this man, how he's went throughout the earth, causing havoc throughout the earth. Everywhere he went, he brought war. You understand? He was a conqueror. The Greeks, the Romans, you understand what I'm saying? All of the European nations, the Vikings, the English, I don't care what European nation you name, they're all Edomites, they're all conquerors, and they're all warlike. They have a natural, destructive, warlike nature, man. This is their very nature. And if you know history, you know that this is true because they've gone around and they've conquered the entire earth and put the whole earth under subjection. But what they don't know and what people don't know is that the Most High gave it to them, meaning that the Most High brought the situation for him to rise to power about. You understand what I'm saying? By punishing us. You understand? That's why the white man or the oppressor is in power, is because we disobeyed the Most High. Right. And he told us he was going to bring the lowest nation, the worst nation on earth against us to rule over us since we love these other nations so much. You understand? We're going to get into that too. Let me have Psalm 55, verses 20 and 21. Because all of the things that are happening on the earth, drug addiction, you know, like I imagine that back in biblical times, people had ways to get high or whatever. But I mean, nobody took cocaine and a leaf and then made a powder out of it. You understand what I'm saying? You know, there was other kind of witchcrafts going on, but I mean, the oppressor has made a business, an industry out of destroying lives, man. Even his medical field is not about curing diseases; it's about treating them for a price. That's even with COVID. Look at COVID. People don't understand is you're going to have to take that shot every year. You're going to have to take them 2 shots every year. It's not like you just got the shot and that's it. Wow. And you're going to be paying for them with your taxes. You understand what I'm saying? And every time before we get back to the scriptures, every time there's an opportunity for them to get money out of you, to rob you, they do it. Look at the oil. They claim that the Russians hacked into this oil pipeline out west in Texas and stopped the flow of oil. So that gives them a reason to, now that there's money in the economy again because of the stimulus, now they have to get more of that stimulus money into their hands, into their pocket. So they say the Russians tapped into the oil line and stopped the flow of oil. So now gas prices is going to go up. You understand? That's just one of the examples of what they do. They take every situation, every opportunity to rob the people, man. Why couldn't they just like, yo, let everything ride for a minute, let people have a little prosperity, let them keep a little change in their pocket for a minute after we've gone through this pandemic, man? Right. But they don't do that. They seize every opportunity that they can to rob the people, man. You understand? They did it with COVID. They did it with 9/11. Every opportunity. They did it with World War I, World War II. That's what they do. They bring about situations so that they can steal resources, man. That's their number one plan. And we're going to get into that in a minute. But read that for me.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant.
This scripture right here is like, I mean, like it describes so much about him. Like he has put forth his hand against those who are at peace in him. Meaning like, you didn't have to do nothing against him, man. He's still going to kill you. It doesn't matter if you did anything against him, man. If you got something that he wants, he's going to take it. Let's go to Genesis. I'm going to prove it right now. Let's go to Genesis chapter 27, verses 38 through 41. Now, he's a greedy bastard. That's the... Slack. I can't say that, right? Okay. He's a greedy bastard. And the blessing that he got, because his father did give him a blessing. And we're going to go into that and break that down right now. You got it?
Yeah, Genesis 27 and what verse?
38 through 41. To understand, he's called a beast. From the beginning of the Bible, even in Revelations, he's called a beast. You understand what I'm saying? Because he doesn't think. A beast, you know what the difference between a man and a beast is? A beast only goes by instinct and wants instant gratification all the time. He wants what he wants. He's like a child. He wants what he wants when he wants it. He doesn't think about the consequences. You got something out of one? He doesn't think about the consequences. He doesn't think about who he's hurting. It's all about him. And we're going to prove that as his nature as well. You got that, Adawan?
The book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father?
So now Esau went into the field and to hunt. And he caught something to eat. But by the time he had got back, Rebecca had set up the situation for Jacob to get the blessing. So now here's Esau coming back from the field. Jacob already got the blessing. So he's asking for a blessing too. Read on.
Bless me, even me also, oh my father.
He's saying, bless me, even me also. Give me a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Because he already gave, Isaac already gave the blessing to Jacob, and he can't take it back because he's an honorable man and he knows. So he gives Esau a different blessing, and watch what his blessing is. Read on.
And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
He cried because he realizing now that he played himself and he sold his birthright, and now he lost his blessing as well. So he cried like a baby. Read on.
Verse 39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be fatness of the earth.
Now, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. What is the fatness of the earth? Think about it. The fatness of the earth are the resources of the earth. The resources of the earth is what makes the earth and what gives people wealth, what gives them power for the most part. All power comes from the Most High, but those are the things that are used to gain power in this world. You understand? So he will dwell on it. Now check out how he's going to get it. Read.
And of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40. And by the sword shalt thou live.
By the sword shalt thou live. Meaning that he's going to take whatever he wants. He's going to take the fatness of the earth with the sword. And if you know the history of this earth and you know this oppressor, has he not done it? Hasn't he taken everybody's resources by the sword? You understand? He took our very lives, man, which is our greatest resource. He took our children, you understand? And he profited from it with the sword. That's the fatness. That's why he's rich. The fatness of the earth. He goes into Africa, you understand, and steals the diamonds. He steals all of the materials you need to make cell phones and computers for dirt cheap, and the Africans get a salary, slave wages. Not that I care about that, but that's just the truth of the matter. You understand? Wherever there's oil, you understand, wherever there's resources, wherever he makes an agreement, you got something out of one?
I was gonna say what you're bringing out is so heavy, because you mentioned it earlier in the class, right? About basically how his empire on the earth started with the Greeks, and ever since the Greeks, every single thing they've accomplished has been through war. It's been through murder, but not like just straight up head up battles. You understand? Because what they did in America, they didn't go straight up to war with the Native Americans. They, put smallpox in their blankets. They found intricate ways to kill them. Same thing you said about some of them other nations. Everything he does is based on murder. You know what I'm saying? It's based on having the sword and being able to utilize the sword to his advantage. And that's how he does things. Let's not forget Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those were two. That would be like dropping a bomb on like Raleigh. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's not a military town. There was some military personnel there, but it's not a military town. It literally is mostly it's the civilians. And he dropped them on two civilian towns in Japan. And that's how he gets everything he does. He's a murderer.
In one of the shows that you did on the Unplugged from the Matrix, you said that he doesn't recognize the humanity of others. You see, that's what we're talking about here. Like, he didn't care. They try to sell this to us that when they dropped those bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that they were saving 1,000 lives or 100,000 lives. But what about the lives the innocent children, the people that you burnt alive, man? He doesn't think about that. He only thinks about his own humanity. That's why I say he's a selfish bastard. That's it. And this is what we're getting at. If you could, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just want to back up what you were saying. Even when it says about how Esau is a cunning hunter, like I just pulled up the definition because I wanted to get it word for word what the word cunning means. And it means having or showing skill in achieving one's end by deceit or evasion.
Could you read that again? That's excellent.
The word cunning means having or showing skill in achieving one's end by deceit or evasion.
Ooh-wee.
And so basically what that's saying is saying that somebody that's misrepresenting something. And just like Officer One brought up, like with the Native Indians, how they was deceiving. They didn't just straight up kill them. No, that's not what they did. They stayed and they befriended them for like a period of time, and they learned their system. And they, what's the word? Infiltrate. That's what they do. Yeah. They infiltrate. And it's like everywhere they go on the planet Earth, they're like a cancer. And they just infiltrate. And then next thing you know,
absolutely
chaos.
That's an excellent definition, bro. For them.
Yeah, what you bringing out is heavy though. I just wanted to say that.
Like we do warfare. We study warfare, and never in the history of the world in warfare did a nation just starve. Well, the Greeks did it to us. They did when we was trapped. But they wiped out the buffalo. Like the Native Indians said that sometimes the herds were so large it would take a whole week for the herd to pass through. It was millions upon millions of them, and the white man or the oppressor used to just sit out there and shoot them and cut out the tongue and claim a bounty, because the desired effect, as you were speaking, was to starve the Native Americans. That was the desired effect, that what they were doing, killing those buffaloes, not for food, not even for the hides, but they left most of them out there to rot. And to prove you killed the buffalo, you didn't even have to bring his head. All you had to do was cut out his tongue, and you got a bounty for the tongue of a buffalo. So this, we're getting into the nature, to understand the nature of this beast, if you could, sir.
Real quick, just to piggyback off of what Officer Kaparia said, you both of y'all bring out some heavy points, and to bring it back together with what you said earlier. Again, bringing out that history that a lot of people don't know about the Greeks and so on and so forth. And every time we talk about that word cunning hunter, I always bring up this point that in literature and in Greek, not you could say mythology, but in Greek history and in literature today, one of the most beloved characters in all of the pantheon of their writing is who? Odysseus. No, Odysseus.
Odysseus.
You ever heard of the Odyssey?
Yeah.
Right.
I heard of it.
Odysseus.
Break it down for us.
Right. No. So now we've all heard of the Trojan horse, right? It was Odysseus's idea to make the Trojan horse. So the Odyssey takes place over the span of about 10 years after the Trojan War. So that had already happened, right? And in Greek mythology, he's a hero. And when I was in college, these devils, they just talked about him like we read the Odyssey and things like that. And he's like their favorite person because of the Odyssey and the Iliad and so on and so forth. But if you look at how he's described in that poem, they literally say that Odysseus was the most cunning soldier in the whole army. He was the most cunning soldier, and it was him who decided, why don't we pretend to surrender, say we're going to give them a gift, a big Trojan horse to say, hey, you won. And guess what? While they're all celebrating and drunk and sleeping, we'll sneak out of the Trojan horse and attack everybody and kill them all, and we'll win. So that cunning nature and way of going about things, they've always celebrated that. They've always celebrated. To them, that's how you win.
Because, hey, what you just said and what you just brought out is heavy. Because in America, the most cunning of them, the most wicked, cunning killers of them are exalted here in America. Right. George Washington, Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, all of these people, snipers, and could kill you without honor. Go ahead, brother.
Just to add on to what Officer Tabawan is saying, just to give you an example, I know we all seen the movie 300. Well, there's a scene in there where they do the same thing with the Trojan horse. I think it's 300 if I'm not mistaken. And they go in there and, like you said, it's supposed to be in a party, and next thing you know, they come out of nowhere and attack everybody. And to back up what you're saying as well, I love that you're bringing this out in Genesis to show how childish our oppressors are. Because you think about us as black men, right? Think about us. If we got an issue with a brother and we want to fight, we just do it straight up. Our oppressors don't even fight like that. They don't fight like that. So it's real heavy what you're bringing out.
You know, like this Bible is the book, man. This book is alive, man. This book has everything that we need to know in it. And we stand on this. This is our foundation. This is our rock, Most High in Christ. You understand? So we're going to get back to the scriptures. Where we was at,
we was in Genesis, the 27th chapter.
Right. So we were dealing with his birthright, his blessing. So his blessing was to live on the fat of the earth, but with a sword, meaning that he's going to get that fat of the earth with the sword, meaning he's going to steal everybody's resources, man. That's the best way I could sum it up, because that's what he's done on the earth. You understand? So now, if we could, let's have Proverbs 3:31. Because, I mean, like, as far as scriptures are concerned, like, there's so many scriptures pertaining to him and what he's done and what he's going to do and what's going to happen to him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you could fill a whole book of the Bible with it. You understand what I'm saying? But I've taken out some choice ones to make a point about the nature of him, so you can understand the nature of who we're dealing with on this earth. You understand what I'm saying? Because he was given power over the entire earth. You got that, Adawan?
Mm-hmm.
If you could.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Envy thou not the oppressor. This is for you, Israel, because we should never envy him. You understand what I'm saying? Because our end is greater than his. We are a greater people than him. Some of the things that he's done on this earth, we would never, ever in a million years think to do, because it's not in our nature. We're not cunning hunters. You understand? We want ours. You understand? What belongs to us, and that's it. We don't want to take his. We don't want to take the Elamites' land. We don't want to take the Moabites' land. We're going to take the land that the Most High gave us, or the land that the Most High tell us to take. That's all we want. And sometimes we didn't even want to do that. You understand what I'm saying? But Esau, the Edomite, he wants all the land. He doesn't stop until he gets it all. We're going to get into that as well. Let me have Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 18. This is the nature of him. We should never envy him. And this is a problem, and we blame it, rightfully so, on the Christian church, because the Christian church has maneuvered us mentally into believing that it's beneficial for us to love these other nations, particularly the Edomites. We have been convinced that it's good to love them, and it's not. It's detrimental to love them or to be around them. Yes. It's detrimental to your life, to your children, to love them, man. Why would you love this beast, man? Why? Do you really know who you're in love with? You're in love with the wickedest man on the planet, man. Yes. And we're going to prove it. You got that out of one?
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets.
I had to throw this one in there because this is happening every day, man. They hunt our steps, man. They hunt us wherever you go. They look and see. They go, nigga. Let's see what we can do with him. You understand? Let's see if we could find a way to kill him and get away with it, man. That's what it's talking about. When you're hunting something, you intend to kill it. That's what hunting is about. If you didn't know, they hunt our steps, meaning they intend to kill us. You understand what I'm saying? If they get in reason or opportunity. Now, I've had instances where cops were very nice to me and they let me go. You understand? I've had those instances that I've never been abused by them physically or anything like that. But I know a lot of people that have been. You understand what I'm saying? And we read about it almost daily, man. And I'm going to tell you something. When I was watching that show the other day, Friday, Unplugged from the Matrix, and they grabbed that old sister and dragged her out of that car by her hair, I was livid, yo. Like, I mean, I know they beat up that other young brother and they've killed brothers and sisters and all that. But damn, man, like the scriptures are so right and exact. It says that they wouldn't care whether you're old or young. It don't matter. They hate you. And we're going to prove that too. They have a natural and a perpetual hatred against us, the Israelites. But it's his own fault. You understand? Lamentation 4 and 18, if you could, sir.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near.
You understand? Meaning they're going to kill us, man. Your end is death. They intend to kill us. There was another scripture in Genesis that he says that when his father dies, he's going to kill. Esau says when after Isaac died, he's going to kill Jacob. Right. So that's his intent, man. We discern these scriptures and we understand what they really mean on every level. He said when his father dies, he's going to kill Jacob. And he's been killing us ever since. And he's supposed to be our brother. And they try to get on us for hating him. But he is the one that's worthy of hate. And he's did all of these things to us. Whenever the other nations came against us, he joined with them. He wasn't a brother to us. He was a brother to the other nation. You understand? When they sacked Jerusalem, he was as one of them. When they burnt Jerusalem, he was as one of them. You understand? So we don't have no reason. Don't ever feel bad for not loving the oppressor, man. If you love the oppressor, this is my humble opinion, there's something wrong with you. There's something mentally wrong for you to love your oppressor and to love, your enemy. Okay? Let me have Zechariah 11 and 5, please. We're just going to get into a few things pertaining to how they treat the Israelites because that's what this is all about. You understand? This is about the Israelite and the doctrine of the Isupk, man, the truth of the Bible. Okay? Under Commanding General Yohana, we learned the truth, man, of this Bible. The true doctrine of this Bible is pertaining to the Israelites. I heard General Hazayan say, what was the word he said? General Zion said, this is a exclusive. That's the word he used. He said, this is an exclusive book. It's exclusive. It's about us. It's for us. It's to us. It's by us.
That's right.
And if you look at it any other way, you're not going to understand it. That's the only way that you can understand the truth, is to look at it in truth. And if you can find one book in this Bible that's not pertaining to the Israelite, I'll burn it. And I'll never come to class again. However, we're safe. We're safe. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You got that out of one?
Yep. The book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Whose possessors? Now, who possesses us? In the Caribbean, Benjamin, in Haiti, Loya, in America, all the tribes that are here are possessed by the same man. Who possessor kills them, slays them. Read it again.
Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Man, if I had $1, I'm 62 years old, about to be 63. If I had $1 for every time I seen that happen, I could retire again. I mean, we can't keep up with it, man. Nobody can keep up with how many times they've killed our brothers and sisters, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in America, and found themselves not guilty. You can't count it. If you tried, you couldn't count how many times they've done it. Every lynching, every murder, every rape. You understand? And you're supposed to love him. You're a damn fool. You're a damn fool if you love him. I don't love him. I don't care nothing about him. And I hope and pray for what the Most High called for. Let me have the book of Micah, chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Because the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. In the book of Revelation, when it describes, it talks about the devil and Satan, it says the devil, then a comma, and Satan, meaning that they're different. The devil and Satan is not the same thing. The devil is a person or a people. Satan is an angel doing his job. That's the difference, which you'll learn about if you come into these rooms. You come into these classes, you'll learn about all of that. Because we have the truth in the Isupk, the Commanding General Yana, and we give it away for free to Israelites. The rest of you can't come. You can't come. That's it. You got that out of one?
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
So woe to them, or destruction to them that devise evil in their bed, meaning that they go in their beds at night. Like we go to bed and sleep and watch TV and do whatever we do. They get in the bed and conjure up evil, man. They think about a wicked thing to do to either get money or destroy other people, man. That's what they do. You saw that with clearly with Trump. That dude would come up every day with something new, wicked. And he didn't just think of it on the spot. He went to bed thinking about it, trust and believe. And we see this with all of these so-called politicians, these Edomite politicians, you know what I'm saying? And this is what they do. Read that again for me.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
Read on.
Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
They covet fields. What was America? What was the prairie? America was a large field, a large forest, and then a large plain. And then they didn't stop until they took every inch. They say it again. How did they get it?
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
Yeah, whatever they want. This is what the blessing meant. By the sword shalt thou live, meaning that you're going to take whatever you want with violence, man. That's what it's talking about. This is the nature of this beast. You understand? Read on.
And houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
Oh, you hear that? Read that last part again.
So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
They'll oppress your entire house, man, and your heritage. Have they not done this to the Israelites? Haven't they oppressed our house? Everything that we have, even our heritage? Haven't they done that? Can you tell me, can you look in the mirror and tell yourself that they haven't done this to us? This Bible is the truth, man. They've done all of this wickedness on this earth. And their time is at hand, man. Their time is running out. You understand? They got a little bit more time, but not much. So they better enjoy themselves in their kingdom, in their heaven. This is theirs. You understand? Ours is that which followeth it, according to the scriptures. Now, let me have Obadiah, verses 1 through 4. This is the book of Obadiah. This whole book is only one chapter in the book. I think it's 21 verses. And this whole book is concerning Esau, the Edomites, or the so-called oppressors. You understand? And this book is like, for me, is one of the clearest indicators of the truth concerning this man or this nation. Let me know when you have it, Adawan, because he is a nation on this earth. And he's the only nation on this earth that is hated by the Most High. The Most High stated, I haven't seen anywhere where he stated that he hated any other nation other than them. You understand? He only described him when he was born because he was different. Wow. You understand what I'm saying? And he, because of our disobedience, he gave him power over the earth so that we could get those 7 punishments that we were promised in the book of Leviticus. What is it? Leviticus chapter 26, verse 18. He said he's going to punish us 7 times, and he did it. You understand? Okay. You got that, other one?
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom.
Concerning Edom. This is the prophet Obadiah, and he was given a vision by the Most High about the Edomites. This whole book is about the Edomites. Read.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
He's greatly despised by the other nations. But all the other nations pretend they love him because he's in power and he gives them gifts. You understand? He gives them technology and he allows them to come into his economy. So they revere him in public, but in their hearts, they hate that bastard, just like everybody else does. They hate your ass. Okay, so now, read on.
Verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
The pride of thine heart has deceived thee. Read on.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Now, man, if you don't know what that means, come to class. His pride of his heart, like he believes that nobody's going to bring him down, that he has rulership over the earth and he's keeping it forever. And if anybody challenges him, he's going to build more weaponry. You understand? He thinks that he's going to have control of this earth forever. Does that sound like a godly man? Does that sound like a man that even has any reverence for the Most High? To think that he's going to rule forever and oppress the earth forever? Read on. He dwells in the clefts of the rocks, meaning he's a caveman. That's who he is. Read on.
Whose habitation is high.
Whose habitation is high. He likes skyscrapers. He builds them up. He lives up there. He charges. In New York, they have Billionaires Row, where you can live on the 100th floor for $95 million. You understand? This is who he's talking about. Read on.
That saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground?
Who's going to bring me down? I am the mighty white man. Who's going to bring me down? Okay, Chinese man, come on with it. Africans, I ain't even worried about y'all. Who else? He's more worried about another white man coming against him. You understand? But he's not worried about nobody else because he believes in his heart, as the scripture says, that nobody's can bring him down. This is the nature. We're talking about the nature of this beast, of this people, of this nation. You understand? Called the Edomites in the Bible, who we call today Europeans, Caucasians. That's who you are, whether they like it or not, whether they want to hear it or not, whether you love them or not. That's your problem. We in ISUPK, we don't love them at all. You understand? And we're not going to love them. Okay, read on.
Verse 4. Thou, it's like it. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Rome, the eagle. They even made a movie about Rome called The Eagle. You understand? Greece, the eagle. America, the eagle. Germany, the eagle. It's always been their symbol because the eagle is an animal that sits up in a tree and waits till another animal gets fat. And then he goes down and he kills him and eats him and devours him. That's the nature of the eagle. That's why they use the eagle as their symbol. You understand what I'm saying? Because he flies high. He likes being up high. He flies up high and he swoops down and he devours the prey. Go ahead, sir.
Because you know the eagle is also a cunning hunter too.
Exactly. Absolutely. There it is. He's also a cunning hunter as well. Very cunning. You understand? He lives off the fat, your fat of the land. When that little gopher or whatever it is gets fat, the eagle watches him. I watched a show where there was this harpy eagle in South America. He had all of these monkeys and animals around him. He never messed with them. He would fly far off and catch prey in other parts of the jungle. But when he had a child, she became pregnant. She was smart. She had all of these other animals right there that she never messed with. And the animals became comfortable seeing her fly off. They weren't afraid of her no more. But now she had a baby to feed. And they was all right there. And she was tearing them up. You understand? That's the cunning hunter that he is. That's why they use the eagle as their symbol. They're not stupid. They're wicked, but they're not stupid. You understand? That's it on verse 4.
Come.
All right, so now we're going to go to Ezekiel 35, verses 5 and 6. Like I said earlier, I love talking about them because of the things that they've done on this earth, man. And my biggest beef with them is like we're men and we understand warfare, But in Israel, we don't have, our women are not involved in warfare at all. Our women are women, man. The way the Most High made them, man. They're beautiful. They do all of those wonderful things that the Most High made them. They don't go out to warfare. So my biggest beef with the Edomites is what they've done to our women. I hate them for that. And I'm going to say it until I die. Because what they've done to our women by itself, they deserve punishment just for that alone. You understand what I'm saying? And you know what I'm talking about. You understand? They during slavery, what they did, they stole our children from the women. They sold us to different plantations. They murdered. They raped anybody who they want. They didn't just rape women either. They raped the men. That's why homosexuality is prevalent in America. Because you destroyed the fabric of that person's psychology by raping them. You understand? And for that alone, you deserve punishment for that. And you're going to get it too. You got that, Adawan? Read.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
For thou hast do you know what perpetual means?
Never ending.
Never ending. That's what it means. They have a never ending hatred for us. And you people going to go against this book and think that at some point they're going to love you, man. That's never going to happen. I've seen women, sisters marry white men, and the white man kill them and call them nigger and call their children nigger, even though it's his seed. This happens all the time because they cannot truly love you, man. They're your enemies, which we're going to prove. The Most High has said it. He's spoken it. They're your enemies, and you should not love your enemy. It's insanity to love your enemy. Never trust thine enemy. Did you read verse 6? Read verse 6. Baba Kasha.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood.
This is the scripture I was looking for. I had it already.
And blood shall pursue thee. Sith, thou hast not hated. Thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Read that again from the top, please.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith, thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
See, it's telling you that he does not hate to kill or to shed blood, He loves it. So therefore, the Most High said blood is going to pursue them, meaning that wherever they go is going to be bloodshed, man. Don't you understand what's going on here? This is the so-called oppressor, man, and this is his nature. We going into him as we should, as we're taught in the Isupk under Commanding General Yohana, to understand this beast, man, for what he really is, man. These are not my words. I didn't write none of this. I didn't make none of this up. But I've come to hate my enemy because of what he's done to my people. That's why. I don't hate him because he's white. If he was blacker than me and he was an African and he did what he did to my people, I would hate him just as much. It ain't about no damn skin color. He just happens to be white. And he's a devil that the Bible speaks of. Is that the end of that? Let me have Amos 1 and 11, because I ain't going to get tired of talking about him, because he deserves more than what I can give him in terms of admonishment or punishment. He deserves more than that. He doesn't get it enough. He'll never understand what he's done to God's chosen people. It said, for thou hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. You understand? God's chosen people. You understand? That's what you've done. You've enslaved them. You've taken everything that they've had. You put the Native Americans on the worst part of the earth and expected them to survive, man. And then wonder why they high in alcoholism and diabetes, just like the so-called African American, because of what you've done. You understand? You're the guilty one. You got that?
The book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity.
See, his punishment is worthy, man. He's worthy of it, man. He pursued us. He destroyed us. It's because of what he's done to us, man. He cast off the brotherly covenant. Like they talk about us like we hate them, like we did it to them. No, they did it to us first. Even when we left Egypt, they did it. They waited. Amalek waited till all of the weak and the old people was at the back and went in and slaughtered them. And the Most High made us never to forget that about them. Amalek, one of the tribes, one of the sons of Esau. You understand? We don't never forget none of this. We ain't forgetting nothing. You forget. We don't forget in Isupk. We don't forget nothing, man, because we go over it time and time again. This is not the last you're going to hear of this. It's not the first you're going to hear of it. Where we at there?
The end of 11. The last sentence. And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
His anger, he's angry at us forever, man. When everything that happened with Esau and Jacob is manifesting itself in the world. When Esau said he was going to kill Jacob, he meant that. A perpetual hatred, meaning that it's his very nature to hate us, man. You want to love him? When I'm black down the block, you and him had beef. You hated him. You hated him. You thought he was your enemy. You understand what I'm saying? But you want to love Esau. You want to love the Edomites. You want to marry them. That's crazy. That's crazy. Stay away from them, man. They are your enemies in this earth. We got time, right? Okay, we got time. That's the end of 11. Now, let's see how the Most High feels about them. You think I feel bad about them. Now, let's see what the Most High says about them. Let's have Romans 9 and 13. This is how the Most High feels about them because of what they've done on this earth. You understand? What they've done, not what we've done to them. We haven't done anything to them yet. You understand? This is not our job to do anything to them. You understand? It is not written for us to rise up against them yet. You understand? That's Christ's job. That's Christ's job. And he's going to do it because he's a faithful servant. And he's not playing when he comes back. And he came for, as it is written in Matthew 5, 15 and 24? I came only for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And that's what he's coming back for too. You understand? You got that, Arwan?
Go on. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Jacob have I loved, as it is written. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. The Most High hates him, that nation. And he says, as it is written. What is it written at? Let's go to Malachi chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. He is hated by the Most High because you know why? Because the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob hates wickedness, man. And Esau is the chief devil, man. He's the most wicked of all the wickedness on the earth. And the Most High hates wickedness, man. That's why he hates them, because they perform wickedness throughout the earth, wherever they go. And that's why he hates them. You got that?
God.
Read that.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
He's talking to Israel. And he tells Israel that he loves Israel, man. Can you imagine? The Most High said, yo, I love y'all, man. I love you niggas. And you know what we said? How do you love us? How do you love us? That's why you're in the ghetto. That's why you're in the situation you're in now. You understand? And the only way to come out, if you could, sir.
Because bring out that scripture, because that's the question literally that brothers in the ghetto ask. Like, you know that this Bible is talking about niggas. Niggas is really talking about, can only be talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Who else asked that question? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some devil might, ask that when his goddamn stock portfolio drops down to negative whatever. But as a nation, you know what I'm saying? Black people are always asking, man, the Lord don't love us. You know what I mean? Malcolm, remember in the movie Malcolm X? You know what I mean? Denzel said that at one point, as he was playing Malcolm X, he was like, I think the white chaplain came to talk to him about God or whatever. You know what I mean? And he's like, yo, let me ask you something. What has God ever done for me? What do you ever do for me? You know what I mean? Because a lot of our people growing up in the ghettos of America, we even though we grow up in the church, and that's why so many people are leaving the church now, it's like, well, how the hell God love me when I'm getting molested? You know what I'm saying? How the hell God love me when I got raped? How did God love me when I've been poor, when I'm starving, and my kids I'm on child support, so on and so forth. So, you know what I mean? This right here shows you exactly who it's talking about.
So here's God telling the children of Israel that he loves them. And the children of Israel is questioning God's love after all that he's done for them, chose them above all the nations of the earth. You understand? Read on.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, Wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord. Yet I love Jacob. Verse 3. And I hated Esau.
He hated Esau. He hated Esau. He tells you that he loves you. You question that. Then he tells you he hates Esau, your enemy. And you question that, even until this day. You don't want to hate Esau. You've been taught by the Christian church that you should love Esau, that God loves everybody. Well, I just proved to you that he really doesn't. He hates a whole nation of people.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? And rightfully so. Because we're taught in this life that you cannot hate anybody, and especially your brother, without cause, man. You can't hate your brother at all. You have to have a cause to hate somebody, man. You can't hate somebody because they wore the same dress, or they wore the same shoes, or they taller than you, they look better than you, they talk better than you. You can't hate nobody for that. You have to have a legitimate reason to hate a person, man. Hate is a heavy burden, man. But the Most High hates them. And I hate whatever the Most High hates. That's
Damn
it.
right.
Whatever he hates, I hate. That's the end of that?
No, we got more.
Go ahead.
And I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
That's when he was up in the caves, man. Nothing on the earth. Job talked about him. Let's go to Job chapter 9 and verse 24. This is something that everybody on this earth needs to understand. If you don't understand this already, you know, the earth, like the oppressor, he thinks that it's divine providence that he's come to power, that he's earned rulership over the earth. You understand? Well, that's not absolutely true. It's a little truth to it, because he did the murdering and killing and the conquering that it took, and that made it necessary for him to come to power. However, listen to this.
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Given. The earth is given. What does that mean? What that means is that the Most High brought about the conditions and the situation so that the devils could rise to power. And he tells you in Romans chapter 9, verses 17 through 22, why he did it. To show his power. You understand? After long suffering, watching you Edomites destroy his children, destroy his people. You understand? That's why he lets you come to power, because he's going to show his power on you. And the whole world, whole earth is going to proclaim his name on the earth as it is written. Finish reading that, sir.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. According to the Psalms and according to the scriptures, the judges is Christ and the Israelites. He covered the faces of, he changed the Israelites, who are a people of color, various shades of brown, and he made them into Caucasians. And if he ain't the devil, then who is he? I love that scripture, right? That's one of my favorite scriptures pertaining to Esau. If he ain't the devil, if not he, then who is he? If that nigga ain't the devil, you tell me who is the devil on this earth. You understand? These scriptures, I'm just going to say it in the slang. These scriptures are a bomb, man. They ain't a bomb because they're the truth, and we come to understand it for what it really is. You understand what I'm saying? In Isupk, we're taught, man. Before I can get up here and speak and teach this class, I had to sit my ass down and learn, man. I had to listen. I had to ask questions. I had to be tested. You understand? And I'm still going to be tested, and I'm still going to sit down and learn. That's the whole nature of the program. You understand? To be a soldier and to sit down and learn and stand up when you need to stand up. You understand? And so we understand these scriptures, who they're pertaining to. You understand? And we understand who these nations are, and we understand what's really going on in the earth. What's really going on in the earth, according to these scriptures, man. Because that's where the truth is. You could let them tell you this is the white man's book. You could let them tell you you should be a Christian and you should love all these nations. You could be a Buddhist or you could be a Muslim. You can love anybody you want to love. We ain't going for that. That is not what the Most High gave us.
That's right.
That is not what he gave us. And we're going with what he gave us in the name of Christ. He gave it to us for us to know. His people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. What kind of knowledge you think he's talking about? He ain't talking about English. He ain't talking about just history. He ain't just talking about mathematics. He's talking about the truth of these scriptures, man. You don't know the truth of these scriptures. You understand? Until you come into the Isupk and be taught.
That's right.
As the scripture says, in order for you to learn this book, you have to be taught it again. You understand? That's what the scripture says. If you're not taught by a person who's learned in these scriptures, you're just wasting your time because you're going to come and use your own understanding. Okay, we got a couple of more. Let's go to Isaiah 14, verses 12 and 16 through 16. And let me know when you got it, because see, this is a misconception. This is the scripture about Lucifer. And this scripture is one of the most misunderstood scriptures in Christendom, you know, because they think that Lucifer is Satan or is the devil or is a singular entity. You understand? But we're going to show and prove that Lucifer is a nation of people. You understand? Because that's what it is. You got that, Adawan? Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Now, this is a prophecy of the future. How art thou fallen, O Lucifer? Read on. From heaven, from your place, from your high place, for your rulership. How art thou fallen, O Lucifer? Read on.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Your heaven. This is his heaven right now. Heaven is rulership.
Right.
That's what heaven is. Heaven is when you rule and you control the resources and you make decisions, man. That's the condition of heaven, that you rule. When we are in our heaven, we're going to rule with righteousness. But this is his heaven. Read on.
O Lucifer, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Which did it, how art thou cut down to the ground after you weakened all the nations? You came to power, you built up your military, you have air superiority, you have superiority in space, you have superiority in the Navy, in the water. How are you going to fall? What's going to happen to you? How's it going to happen? Read on.
Verse 13, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven.
I will ascend. You have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. Now he's talking about the sky and space and all of that, which he's doing. Go ahead.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
You see that? Now, this is a madman to me. He said he's going to exalt his throne. His throne is the seat that you sit on, the rulership seat. That's what he's talking about. He's going to exalt it above God. Now, you tell me that's not a madman. That ain't no angel, because angels, they obey God. Read on.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
He's going to rule over the nations, man, with his doctrine. Go ahead.
In the sides of the north.
Well, he's from the north. Europe is north, about as north as you can get. That's where he claims to come from. You understand? European from the north. He has us in bondage here in the North America. You understand? Read on.
Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Ooh, he's done that. Whoa, he's done that all the time, every day. Read on.
I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. Now, ain't that something? You acknowledge that there is a Most High, but you don't know the Most High, and you think that you could be like the Most High. You a nut. You're a madman, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you think that your contraptions and stuff can cause you to challenge or to be like the Most High. This, read on, brother. This is insanity. This is who you dealing with. This is the degenerate that rules the earth. Read on.
Verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
You shall be brought down to hell, meaning that your condition is going to change. You understand? Read on.
Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble?
Ooh-wee. That means that when you fall, the people going to look at you and say, damn, this is the dude that ruled the earth? This savage looking, whatever you look like to the other nation. You understand? You look like Esau to me. You understand? They're going to narrowly look upon you and say, is this the one that ruled the earth? You understand? This is what it's talking about. This is talking about your fall. You understand? You are not this is not an angel or angel beings they're talking about. They're talking about people. You understand? Angels are not going into the condition of hell. It's not their nature. They haven't disobeyed God at all. But human beings have. So Lucifer is not talking about the star of the morning, meaning that he has his rise early. He has his shine early in the morning. You understand? The son of the morning star. He has his rise early in the morning, meaning that his time is in the early part of time. You understand? And once the morning is gone, he's gone too. You understand? Is that it on that?
I got a little bit more.
Read on, sir.
That did shake kingdoms.
That did shake kingdoms. You shook the kingdoms. You shook Japan. You shook China. You understand? You shook Africa. You shook Australia. You shook North America, South America. You shook all those nations. You dropped bombs on them. You shook explosive devices on them. You understand? It's time. Did you say time, Adawan? Oh, most of correct. You understand? Go ahead on.
Verse 16.
Sorry.
That they see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble?
Made the earth tremble, man. When you drop them bombs, man, the whole earth trembled, man. You understand? This is you, the Edomites of the earth. You're the guilty party. You're the one that have done all of these things. So you fit the description. So it has to be you. There's no other nation that could fit the descriptions that have been described here in this book and that I'm trying to describe to you. This is clear evidence. I mean, it's beyond reasonable doubt. Way beyond. We are way beyond reasonable doubt now. If you have reasonable doubt, you have a reasonable insanity. That's it on that? Now, these people are called a devil. In Hebrew, it just means a deceiver. It's not a being who's able to do things and being invisible and all that. It's all that nonsense, man. Red man with a pitchfork and all that. They taught us that when we was like children. You understand? And they ingrained that in us as children. But this is nonsense. The devil is a deceiver. And this is what he intends to do right here. Let me have the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew 24 and 24. This is how he plans on staying in power. You understand? This is what he needs to do to stay in power. He's a deceiver, so he has to keep on deceiving the earth in order to stay in power. He has to keep on lying to the people. And once you tell one lie, you got to keep coming up with more. You lied. You said that Christ was a white man. You lied and said he was conceived through immaculate conception. He told the earth all kind of lies, man. You understand what I'm saying? You got that, Adawan? Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 24. For there shall rise false Christ and false prophets.
There shall rise false Christ. I be bugging out. You know what's funny sometimes? I watch it for a minute. There's something called camp meeting. It comes on like late at night. And, sometimes I wake up at night. Some nights I don't sleep good. And I wake up and I'll just turn it there just to laugh. It's funny as hell. It's a Christian show. It's straight up prosperity preaching. And it is funny. I mean, their game is so weak, yo, you will laugh if you watch it. I guarantee you, if you watch, I just watch it for a couple of minutes, but it's funny. These are the false Christ. You understand? They use the scriptures to rob people, man. They tell you that if you do this and if you say that, you're gonna get money, man. and they're clowns, man. They are clowns at doing it. But they have the people's attention. You understand what I'm saying? Because late at night, you got all those people that have no hope and they can't sleep, and they're doing bad, they worrying about their bills. So they watch all of this kind of stuff because it makes them feel good temporarily. That's what the whole Christian game is about. Right. To make you feel good. Right. You understand what I'm saying? We about the truth, man. The truth, right. the truth don't make you feel good, man. You know what I'm saying? But for a minute, you understand? It's good to talk about it, but to be about it is not funny. And it's not always making us feel good. But we do it because we want to serve the Lord and we want rulership in that kingdom. Everyone in this room wants that. I know it. What other reason are you in here? We want rulership, man. We want the gifts that the Most High in Christ promised us, man. That's what we want, man. That's why I'm here right now. Ain't no other reason. I ain't getting paid. And you couldn't pay me to do this. If they offered me money, I would do it for free. I would say no. You understand? Because this is the work of the Lord that we're doing, to tell you the truth, man, according to the Most High in Christ, man. That's what we do in the Isupk. This ain't no joke. We have fun. We enjoy it sometimes, but it's a lot of pain and work involved with this, man. When Christ said that he's going to baptize you with fire, what the hell do you think he meant? What did he mean? He ain't going to set you on fire. Right. He ain't going to dip you in fire and you come out a new person with new skin. All this craziness. The fire is the trial that you're going to go through as a follower and as a believer in what he said. That's it. Well, let's get back to the topic. Read on, sir.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 24.
Many antichrists, liars. That's what an antichrist is. Go ahead.
For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders.
This is what they do. They show great signs and wonders. Oh, they got technology. I saw today, an article where now they could do these holograms in the sky and all of this kind of. Did you see that, Papa Juan? It's an article today. They could do this. Guy has invented this new laser technology where they could do these holograms, and they could make images in the sky and stuff like that. You know, I just say that because that's what came to my mind when you read that. Yeah. You understand? And this is what they're going to do. This is their technology, their devices that they use, you understand, to fool people. Well, let me tell you, I'm from an era when it wasn't no technology. I remember we used to dial telephone like this. You got one? That's a relic, brother. You better keep that joint. Yo. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, you know, I didn't get a color TV till I was 20 years old. Color TV was technology. A 19-inch was a big screen when I was.
Oh, damn. Damn, bro. You was in the Stone Age.
Like it. It seemed like the Stone Age. It do. I'm just telling you, man, this is in the 60s and the 70s, man. Color TVs didn't come out until the 60s, 70s. And telephones, man, you be in your house. You had one telephone, you know, and if somebody called you and it wasn't home, it was busy. You understand? But what I'm trying to say is that they've invented, what I'm really trying to get at is that I remember life before what we call technology today. And life was not better. Life is not better today with all this technology. I'm telling you. People were healthier. You understand what I'm saying? The women were healthier. You understand? Because we were more active. You understand? We ate better food. They hadn't, like, I remember when the first GMO food came out, it was called a sun-kissed orange. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Oh, get this sun-kissed. It has no seeds. It's wonderful. Because they had genetically modified it. And sun-kissed oranges was so popular that they even made a soda called sun-kissed. You understand? This is when they began to genetically modify the food. You understand? And these companies like the Santos and all these companies came with up all of these recipes to genetically modified food is just poison in the food. Because when you change the nature of the food, which is what genetics does, the Most High made it perfect already. Man, I remember when them peaches was sweet, man, and soft, man. I remember when the skin on the apple was thin and you didn't have to spit it out. You could swallow it. You understand? I remember when grapes had seeds and they were big and round and sweet. Find them today. They've genetically modified the food. This is the wickedness that they've done on the earth, to think that they can make the food better than the Most High already made it for you. To think that they could go to Mars and live when you have everything on the earth. And you spend billions and trillions of dollars up there when you could feed the whole earth with it. This is the insane human being that runs the earth today. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we read about. Salakia, read on.
Book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 24. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Say that last sentence again.
They shall deceive the very elect.
Meaning that they got so much game and so much deception that they're going to fool everybody but the chosen of God. They're going to fool all of y'all. Y'all follow Christianity. Follow Islam. Follow Buddhism. Read that last part one more time.
If it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
If it were possible, even those chosen by the Most High, those in the truth, if we don't stay on point, they could fool us too. That's what it's telling you. But we on point. They ain't fooling us. I'm clinging to this, man. I need this. This is my life vein right here. You understand? They're going to fool it says they're going to fool the entire earth, even the elect. The elect is the chosen. When you elect something, that means you choose it, right? The elect are who God has chosen. That even they could be fooled if they slip. But we're not slipping here because we're going to tell this truth forever until Christ returns. That's what it's about. The devil or the deceivers are going to deceive the whole earth. They got all of this, man. You should see their plans they got for your ass. They got some plans for you, and you sitting there sleeping. You think that they're going to allow you to come to power in their system and take rulership from them? You're a damn fool. You see them right now. They're changing all the rules. And the Republicans is doing it, but the Democrats is with it too. They're just pretending that they're against it. Because if the Republicans do it, then you could blame it on the Republican and you'll vote for the Democrat. But they all in cahoots. They're the same bird with two different wings. Left wing and a right wing. Right. So ready to devour you. You understand? That's what they do. That's what they're doing. It's a trick. Please, please come into the Isupk, man. Come into the truth, man. Learn this truth, man. I got a couple of more, and then we're about to wrap it up. But let me have Revelation 11 and 18. He's the deceiver, man. That's what a devil is, man. He's just a deceiver, man. He's no mythical being. He breathes air and eats food and sleeps and gets drunk just like you. You understand? He's just a man. You understand? You got that other one? Read it.
Book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants and the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name.
So this is a book of the judgment. This is when all of this is over and judgment is about to be rendered. You understand? So he says those who are worthy and the saints. And we know, which is easily proven, that the saints is a Greek word that just simply means those chosen of God. And in the book of Psalms, chapter 148, 149, tells you that the saints are the Israelites. The saints is just a word that means the chosen of God. So whenever you see the word saint in the Bible, and I can easily prove it, it's talking about Israelites. Read on.
And them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
That's it. Destroy them that destroy the earth. All of these scriptures that I'm bringing out are linked. These are the same people. How do you destroy the earth? What is the earth made of? The earth is made of what we call ecosystems, man. A system that allows life to flourish. That's an ecosystem. You understand? Whether it's in water, whether it's in the air, whether it's on land. That's the foundation of the earth. And they've destroyed almost every ecosystem. I mean, even the bees, they have to farm bees because they've put so much poison in the earth that the bees are dying off. And they need bees to pollinate. The fish are poison. Everything you eat, every food that you eat has some byproduct that they put in it. You understand? And if they do have a clean food, they charge you exorbitant prices for it. An egg grown naturally costs more than a genetically altered egg. You understand? This is how they destroy the earth. They pollute the earth, you understand, with pollution. They said I think it's in the Atlantic Ocean, there's an area that has all of these plastic bottles. That is almost the size of a whole state. That all of these plastics and pollution have gathered together in this area in the ocean. You understand? This is, and they keep finding these turtles and these other animals with these things wrapped around them, this debris wrapped around them. This is destroying the earth because you're destroying the ecosystems. You understand? You're polluting the water. The Native Americans, I never forget this Native American, it was a video, and he said, before the white man came, this is the tribe of Gad. He said, before the white man came, you could go to every stream and river in America and drink the water. Wow. Think about that shit. You find a river anywhere that you can just go and drink the water. I remember, this is kind of silly, but I remember I was in a camp, and we was like camping out with this group, and it was a river, and the river was running, looked pretty, and it was beautiful. And I went to drink the water, and the counselor grabbed me by the shoulder. No, you can't drink that water. I said, why not? This river water is poison, man. That's what he said to me. I never forgot that because it looked clean. It was in upstate New York. And I thought it was a nice river. You know, I was like, yo, I'm gonna get some of this spring water. You know, shit. I kept watching the water, then you see the little oil streaks and shit. Like, they polluted the earth, man. So he's going to destroy them that destroy the earth, man. The polar bear has moved south. He's mating with the grizzly bear. I forgot them. They got a name for the bear. It's a grizzly. I'm telling you. The polar bear his habitation has been destroyed. So he's moved south into the areas where the grizzly bears live. Yeah, and they're mating, and it's called, look it up, man. If you think I'm lying, you see it, right? Okay.
So it was like a hybrid or something?
Yeah, they're mating, and they used to hate each other. They never made it. This never happened before because they had different habitats. The grizzly bear would hibernate in the southern region, and the polar bear would hibernate in the snow. But now, because his habitation is destroyed, he has moved south for food. And, you know, nature takes its course. The Most High always wanted species to be separate. He didn't want the cows mixing with other species of cows. He didn't want ligers and tiglons. He wants lions and tigers. You understand what I'm saying? So they've destroyed the very fabric of the earth, man. Everything is all mixed up because of what they've done on this earth. This is what it's talking about, to destroy them that have destroyed the earth. They've wiped out thousands of species in less than 200 years. Thousands of species of animals have died, even nations. You cannot find a native Tasmanian on the earth. The last one died, I think it was in 1919. It was an old woman, old black woman. She was the last living natural Tasmanian because the Edomites wiped them out and took their land and kept a few of them for servants, and they died off because they didn't have enough young men to procreate. That's the Tasmanian. You understand? And this is what they've done throughout this earth. This is the last one I got for y'all. Well, I got 3 more, but let's go quick. Let's have Amos 9, verses 8 through 12. Amos 9. This is, you see, and because he's a filthy beast, he doesn't care, man, that you drink clean water. Hey, man, we'll put some fluoride in it and some other stuff, and it'll look clean. You understand? This is the devil, man. And then he sells it to you. And then he puts poison in the water and sells you the clean water. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand the devil completely. I understand him to the fullest. In ISUPK, there is no escape for his wickedness. Man. We cover it all. And we understand. You got that, Adawan? Read that.
The book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom.
The Lord his eye is on the sinful kingdom, man. He sees what's going on here. Y'all people, y'all don't believe in God. You don't believe in the Most High. You think the Bible is some made up fairy tale. Is it really? After all of this, man. After you learn all of this, you're going to sit up here and think that the Bible is some kind of nonsense, man. Read on, brother.
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord.
So in these scriptures, you see that he's going to, he's going to save the saints and the Israelites, the Jacob. He's going to save us. But the rest of you filthy, the ones that deserve it, you're going to get it, man. He's going to destroy you. He's going to destroy you. And I don't want to be one of the ones that, I know I'm going to pass through this physical life. I'm going to die on this earth, but the Most High is going to bring us back. And I want to be one of those in the kingdom, man. I want to be sitting there with my brothers. We sitting there drinking, chilling, enjoying real life, man. Real life. Well, you ain't got to worry about nobody coming hitting our mom upside the head. You ain't got to worry about a brother messing with your woman, man. Trying to get at your woman. You ain't got to worry if your kids could go out and play. Ain't nobody going to poison them. Put a razor blade in candy. All this madness. We ain't dealing with none of that. Just when Christ rule, ain't going to be none of that. I'm telling you now. Let's get that one and then we'll be done. Finish reading that, brother.
The book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
Gonna sift us, means separate us. That's what you do when you sift the flour. You separate the large grains from the smaller ones. He's gonna sift us. Read on.
Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
Ooh-wee. That's you, Israel. That's you. Read on.
Verse 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Verse 11. In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
Meaning the kingdom is ours, man. The kingdom belongs to Israel. I don't give a damn whether you like it or not. I don't give a damn. You understand? This is the Most High has spoken it, man. And we go through these scriptures and we bring them out because we see everything that the Most High said. He did it. He said he's going to punish you 7 times. He did it. He said he's going to send you in slavery on ships. He did it. You understand? You understand? He gave these Edomites power over the earth. He did it. What else are you going to deny? What else do you got to deny? about the Most High. You understand? You better come into this ISUPK before it's too late. That's not a threat. That's a blessing. To come into this ISUPK has been a blessing for me, man, because I came in there. I remember coming in there thinking I knew some shit. I remember that. I talked to Brother Tabawan. We talked about it. I ain't know nothing, man. You understand what I'm saying? Because I was misled just like anybody else, man. They allow you to go into all of these doctrines to keep you confused, to keep you away from this, man. Remember, the path is narrow.
That's right.
And only one can go in at a time. But on the other side, you get your heritage back, man.
Right.
Man, I'm rocking with that. I'm rocking with that. And with that, that's 5 more minutes? Okay. 1 more. 2 more. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 18. Did we read verse 12? Read verse 12, Salakia.
The book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 12. That they may possess the remnant of Edom.
Who we? Say that again.
That they may possess the remnant of Edom.
Read on.
And of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this.
See, we're going to rule. And what it means is, what this is telling you is that we're going to rule, man. All of these nations that doing all these things to us and ruling over us and making fun of us, these filthy nations who worship monkeys and elephants and rats and cows. Every part of the cow is a god. And we eat them for dinner. You understand? These people understand that take piss showers and bathe in cow manure. You understand? Are ruling over us. This is atrocious, man, to me. But it's the will of the Most High, and we have to suffer these things. You understand? But it's not forever. These filthy nations, they call us niggers. They say we're the drug addicts. We're the worst. We're the lowest of the low. We're the dregs of society. It's a lie. We are Yasha Allah, the chosen of God, the greatest nation that ever walked the face of the earth. That's who we are. And that's who we're going to be. Because as we expose Esau's nature, our nature is to be the greatest nation on this earth. And the Most High has spoken it. You understand? And that's what it's going to be. We're going to rise up. We're going to be those great people. We're going to have good lives. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to enjoy your wife. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to enjoy your children. You're going to lay in the bed when you're old. You're 400 years old, 900 years old, laying in the bed. You got 400 grandchildren coming in the house. All of them trying to bring you a piece of fruit or some drink. And then your homeboy, he 450. He trying to bring you some strong in there. You understand? That's what I'm talking about, man. And with that, that's my time now. Most High in Christ. We are the ISUPK under Commandant General Yohana. And with that, I pass the class over to Precinct Officer Tabawan. I gotta go restroom.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. Right now we are in the feast of first fruits. Okay, so we're gonna, of course, gonna be counting the days. The actual feast will take place. Salakia. Just 1 second. Let me just get it for you. Bear with me. The actual feast will take place on June 21st. Okay, June 21st. It'll begin before sundown. All right, but that'll be the next holy convocation. Want to remind Akim and Akwat and check on social media, such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. Of course, you want to make sure you tune into that Black Watch. Like, share, and subscribe to that. Tune into the show we got here in North Carolina, Unplugged from the Matrix, Boot Up or Shut Up in Texas, Salakia, One West Radio out in Cali, Root and Speech up in Delaware. You know what I'm saying? All the different shows and things like that. You want to stay tuned into all of that. You know what I'm saying? Stay updated. Also, if you're in the Durham area, in the North Carolina area, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna be starting back up running food drives and things like that. I think we're trying to have one this weekend, I believe. So, you know what I mean, if you want to donate any food items, any clothing items, you know what I'm saying, just make sure you wash them, get them washed first, and you can just bring them right to the school in a barrel or in a tote, anything like that. You know what I'm saying, to the Durham school out here. The address is 2534 South Roxborough Street. Okay, 2534 South Roxborough Street. We'll be collecting all of those things, you know what I'm saying, in preparation for the next food drive. Also, if a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, I madium wapunya aquadum, which means turn and face the east. We're going to close out with the Lord's Prayer. We're going to start out in the Hebrew. Abanawas, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Daba'ah, Ratazai Ka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Koah, Haya, Bashemayim, Nathan Lanawa, Lakum, Kal, Yawum, Wasalak Lanawa, Kal Bwath Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kal Bwath Yanawa, Wala'ah, Tabia Ayanawa, Bonasai 1, Abol, Hawashai Nawa, Mayun, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwith, Waha'ala, Wataparith, La Walumyum, Amun.
In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. Amen.
Sar, which means to turn. Sister Yashab, be seated. Salaki. We'll just wait for the brother real quick. Okay. Men of Israel, we give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shabrakatah. Yadim Matah, Sar, turn to face the sister, Amadim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Athah Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Yadim Matah, class dismissed.